What you gonna do? Do for drugs?
Love, babe.
You tried everything.
I didn't.
But you gave it all up.
Amen.
Oh, see? Y'all talking about I can't. That's a Christian song.
Welcome back. The Marriage Journal Revealed.
We back.
If you didn't hear it, we are talking about every drug but love.
I'm in love with the cocoa.
No, he's not.
I got it for the Lolo.
So let's just get Justin on track. Let's get into it. Babe, with this episode being titled Every Drug But Love, let's talk about what does that mean?
What that means is your boy tried a lot of drugs because I was tired of love. Ooh, that was
that
deep.
what it was?
That's not what it was, but that sounded good for a quick second though. But nah, real talk, man. Listen. All right, so let's go all the way back. So when we first met, right? I thought Crystal was so dope. I'm talking about like our first date. I was bringing him around the
He
home.
didn't just think it, I was.
And then we got married and everything changed. Hey, Lon, for real, like when you get married, watch
The
how
shade.
they might change on you.
The
listen.
shade.
Okay, tell me, did she
How
change
did I
then?
change?
Let me tell me if you changed then. Okay, people.
Thank God I changed. Whew.
So, like Crystal, when I was courting her, we was hanging out. She was like the homie, like she was like my best friend. Like I could take her around my childhood friends.
Y'all. I had to hook him.
She was deceiving the brother. That's what it was. Deceiving me, thinking that this was what's gonna be. So I'm out here, introducing her to my boys. We getting lit. You know what I mean? Smoking.
He was.
Yeah, she never smoked. She never tried a drug, touched a drug, none of that stuff.
I was
cool.
17.
Oh my gosh.
I was 17.
Right, I was 18. So
He was not.
I'm with the homies. She's around. I'm able to do me. I'm free. Because I've been in relationships where my girlfriend would try to tell me, oh, you don't need to be smoking. Oh, why you smoking? Whatever. I'm like, man, miss me with that. I've been smoking since I was 14. I'm grown. I'm definitely gonna smoke now, especially because one, I like the way it made me feel.
You was cute.
Cute?
Here and there.
No, she did.
His eyes used to be really chingy, and I didn't know that was what.
Yes, you did.
No, but I didn't know that. And initially, like when you smoke, that your eyes were going to be chingy like that. You know what I mean? I didn't. I just thought it was kind of cute.
She used to tell me, she's like, "Ooh, your eyes
thought it was
cute." You actually said you're cute when you high.
Yeah, I was like, oh, his eyes kind of get a little chingy.
So I said,
thought it was kind of cute.
She thought it was cute. So I was like, bet, let me hit another split.
Naive.
So I was like, let me get another. But anyway, so that's all why we courted. I'm talking about all the way dating, smoking. Never.
Actually, you didn't really smoke a whole lot.
No, I did. You removed yourself, or no, because you didn't like it. I respected that, and I said, you know what, I won't smoke around you as much. But I did smoke.
That makes sense.
and then back then it was illegal too, so it was harder to get weed than it was when you come to California.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Well, that would make sense as to why, in my perspective, you didn't smoke a lot. I didn't see it a whole lot. You didn't smoke. You didn't.
I can't argue with you. I don't know what you saw.
Okay.
I just know I was lit a lot. So now, fast forward, I say 3 months into us being married. No, it was longer than that because I was driving truck. I was driving truck. So one thing I would never do was get caught. I ain't gonna say I wouldn't compromise my job. I wouldn't get caught. Like when I know I'm about to get a new job or I need to quit, I could quit. Or being in the military, when I was in the military, I really didn't smoke that much. When I was doing, the weekend joint.
Thank you.
I really didn't do it because anytime it was jeopardizing something, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Or I would do it lightly. I wouldn't do it as much. But in the times when I was doing it, you used to hate it. You used to hate when I smoked weed. Then now she's starting to change. Now this is when the change happened. Why are you smoking weed? Are you high? You supposed to be living for the Lord. I was like, listen, I'm still saved. I still believe in God. I'm still out here in this church.
Can I just add one thing though?
Go ahead.
Is that when we were dating, we also, when we started dating, we didn't start off living together. So the times that I saw you probably had already smoked or whatever. So it also didn't seem like it was happening as frequent because you weren't doing it around me. and we weren't living together. And so as we started living together, you know, we're married, and I'm starting to notice habits. You know what I mean? I'm starting just to see a little bit more of what the situation is.
This is true. Okay. All right. So let's talk about it. As we're living together, now that you're in a place like, okay, I don't want to say that you're right with the Lord, but you are definitely going and engaged in church more than I was. But at the same time, I still was going to church, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing. Why were you so upset at the fact that I was smoking weed? Like, why all of a sudden, now we married, now you want me to stop all of a sudden?
It wasn't necessarily all of a sudden.
For me,
it wasn't like we got married and then tomorrow, like you said, like I just started to notice, okay, he smokes a lot. And I think that even when we were courting, like I said, I didn't see it as much. And so getting married and realizing, man, like, this is a whole issue. You know, this is a lot. This is a, you know, it just was like, okay, we gotta figure something out. I don't like this.
And she would use like, this is what you can't do, y'all. If your spouse is, let's say in this current situation, if they're smoking weed right now, and you want them to stop smoking weed, they not gonna stop just because you're asking them to stop smoking weed.
That's right.
It's an addiction.
That's right.
Whether we're gonna say everything we need to say to prove that it's not addiction. Oh, I can quit anytime I want to. You quit for a period anytime you want to, or you go quit when you need to, but it's not necessarily quit. You're just stopping it for a minute.
You're suppressing it.
Suppressing it, but and you can pull out any scripture. You can fuss all you want. It was times when I was, I'll be lit, I'll be high, and Crystal would be like, "Babe, are you high?" Knowing that she don't like it. "Babe, are you high?" And I'm looking at her like, I know she know my eyes is red. I know my eyes is red. I just got done hitting the jank. No, I ain't high. Why? Now I'm lying. She's like, "Why you lying?" I said, "I knew you was high. Like, you really gonna sit here and lie to me? So you gonna ask me while I'm high if I'm smoking?" Of course I'm gonna say no, I ain't high.
It's true. It's true.
But and all that though, just knowing that Crystal was really strong about drugs, period. Like not doing any drugs, period. Because she used to try to use, or she used to educate me, let me say it like that. She used to educate me on what drugs or what weed does to the brain cells. And my response, I had a rebuttal for that. She said, "You killing your brain cells, this, that, and other." I said, "You kill your brain cells when you sneeze. Look it up. You kill your brain cells when you sneeze."
It also, just going back to when we were dating and, you know, getting married, not fully understanding what that all comes to, you know, dating, courting, just having fun. But now we're married and we failed to really discuss these types of topics. We didn't discuss them. And for me, I was so strong in my beliefs against it. However, I didn't express to him when we were dating just how strong in my beliefs I was on no marijuana, no drugs, like just to stay away from it. And one of the things is because obviously, yes, I was like, okay, I'm a Christian, you know, we don't do that. And not knowing, again, being naive, just because you're Christian don't mean that that's something that you need, that you're not being delivered from.
Hold on,
it doesn't stop you from being a Christian.
Yeah, it doesn't stop you from being a Christian. Matter of fact, I truly believed at this time, but now I know exactly what it is. But at the time, I truly believed that I was closer to God when I was high. Like you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I truly believe, I was hearing clearly. I felt more connected to God. But I come to realize later on that's the spirit of deception. That's the spirit deceiving me, making me believe that I'm closer to God. But I've actually had I had an encounter, which I was probably 17. I ain't gonna call it an encounter, but I was, what's it called? Not an encounter. What's the word when the possession? Possessed. I had a spirit. I had to get delivered. Where I remember I was high, And this one I knew, I was like, no, this is something spiritual to this. Because if you go to the church that we go to, Revelation Church, and you see the different deliverances that happen with spirits that possess you. There was a time when I was high, and I remember looking at my iguana cage, and everything went black. And when everything went black, I could hear, but I couldn't see. I could hear faintly voices and people talking and stuff like that, but I couldn't see nothing. And a lot of times my boys, when I told my boys this experience, they was like, nah, they laced it with something. I said, bro, my brother smoked the same weed with me. They didn't have this experience. We all smoked together. Nobody had this experience. Everything went black. I'm hearing voices. And I could hear my brother calling my name. Justin. And I couldn't respond. I could hear it, but it's like an aura. But like I said, everything was black. He finally knocked on the door, banged on the door and yelled my name, and I snapped out of it. When I snapped out of it, I was looking at myself in the mirror. I don't know how I got to the mirror. I was looking at myself in the mirror.
Okay.
And he opened the door. He said, who you got in your room? I said, what you talking about? He said, man, stop playing, bro. Where the girls at? I heard all them girls in your room. I said, all them girls. I said, ain't nobody in my room. He was like, bro, stop playing, man. What I heard that. I said, what was he saying? And he started telling me the conversations. He said he thought it was 3 different women in my room having a conversation that I was having a conversation with. And those were the voices I was hearing. But there was a possession that took place. And I actually spoke to my spiritual father at the time, not at the time, spoke to my spiritual father. I said, was that a possession? He said, yeah. He said, but God had his hand on me and angels fought for me. So that's a whole nother topic. So I know for sure that you open yourself and you're more susceptible to different spirits, different demonic forces that will actually, you open that door for them to take over your mind and your possession. Absolutely.
And, even to that extent, I didn't have that revelation in depth early on, but I knew, when you take certain things, you're not in control. And as much as people will say, oh, I am, and I see clear and I think clear, like Justin said, it's deception. And so just not really fully understanding how to properly communicate to him. We didn't talk about it earlier on. I became judgmental. I started, obviously you feel strong about that.
You was, go ahead.
Share with them, I'm confessing some things.
Okay, go ahead. Because it wasn't just towards me, it was towards everyone.
Give me grace, give me grace. No, go ahead. You want to talk about that?
No. You
so I was very judgmental because it wasn't something that I had a struggle with. So I didn't understand. In my mind, it was just like, just stop. You know what I mean? Just why? Why are you doing this? And so when I would see other people doing the things, I would get irritated. And it was more so not irritated with them, but irritated at my situation with my husband. And so having that, I would be nagging him. Like he said, I'd be asking, are you high? Are you this, and this? And I was making the situation worse because it was not a point where you're just going to quit because your wife wants you to quit. That is not it. There has to be true deliverance. You have to come into yourself and say, you know what, Lord, take this from me. I don't want to continue in this. You have to make a decision that you want to be done with it. It has to be for you and your relationship. Because the more that I would hound you, the more that I would say, would you stop? You're doing this, and this. It just made it worse. I probably drove you to want to smoke more. And I remember you saying, that you just felt judged, and in my mind.
And now I'm hiding. Now I got secrets. Now it's easier. You're hiding. It's easier for me to hide things from you. I can't feel like I confide in you about anything. Even if I wanted to stop, I didn't feel like I had the support of you helping me to, want to quit or even come to you about it. So now I'm like, forget it. I'll just continue doing what I do outside. But go ahead.
Yeah, and it just ultimately it made the situation worse. And so as his wife, I made the decision to be with this man. I made the decision to marry him. I made the decision to persevere through his weakness, because you can get to a point where you're just saying, if you don't stop smoking, then I'm done. I'm leaving you. Well, that's crazy. Okay, that is absolute. Now, if it was something where I don't even want to say it's crazy, because there are drugs out there that are killing you. There are some really heavy stuff out there that, would have negative impact on your family. negative impacts on your spending habits and things like that. So there could be a situation that is a bit more detrimental than just in smoking marijuana. So, but ultimately it's important for you guys to seek help in that aspect, because no matter the addiction, whether it's tobacco, whether it's marijuana, whether it's cocaine, whatever it is not something that you can just do on your own. You do need support. You needed my support, and me saying just stop, or checking up and making sure, do you smell like this? Do you smell like that? Or where were you? Who were you with? Did y'all smoke? You know, wasn't helping anything. Yeah. It wasn't helping anything. And I didn't have the experience in understanding. So I couldn't have compassion on your process because I never smoked marijuana. Yeah. So I couldn't understand, or, you know,
it actually got to a point where in our marriage where you just like, all right, he gonna do what he gonna do. Mm-hmm. And I think that made it more, that actually made it easier, where I was like, all right, let me chill out a little bit, you know what I mean, or come back. But also, once again, it's my own conviction. Well, what I mean by that is there's be times when I'll be super convicted about it. Like, even I look back, I look at the foolishness. I had that situation happen where the possession took place, but I still was like, okay, even though I know the risking, or I knew the behind about this drug, mm-hmm. I still continue to do it because, one, I wasn't completely delivered. Two, I want to do, I just liked the way it made me feel, you know. For me, because weed wasn't the only drug I tried a lot of other drugs. I'm talking about a lot. I tried a lot. Yeah. I never was addicted, thank God, because your boy, he do got an addictive personality. Never was addicted, but I was always looking for, you know, to be honest with you, I really believe I was looking for everything but God at that time in my life, throughout my life. Like, I had my moments where I'm like, man, it's just, it helped me get up, because I was going through roller coasters throughout life, and I would always turn to something that possibly pick me up, or I hear about a drug and the experiences that they had. I say, ooh, I want to experience that, you know, something like that. So I would try different drugs, but it wasn't until I actually, to be honest with you, it was because there was always a small conviction for me. It was always a small conviction, no matter how much I convinced myself that it's okay for me to smoke, no matter what somebody else, how I justified it. There was always a conviction for me to be like, every time I smoke, like, listen, man, you got to chill out. You got to stop. Yeah. It wasn't until I had an encounter with God. This when I was like, oh yeah, I'm delivered. It's a done deal. Yeah. I had a true encounter, a vision. God gave me a glimpse of my future if I did not stop smoking, smoking and drinking. He gave me it was crazy, and I just started weeping. Yeah. And I was like, I'm done. And so for me, I just stopped cold turkey. It was just done. I was like, all right, I'm done. That might not be the case for everybody. Some people may have to go through rehab, or depending on the severity of it. Some people just don't have a conviction yet, or they just don't feel nothing wrong with it. That's cool. I mean,
and having people support you in it.
Yeah, and they this isn't necessarily for everybody. Yeah, there's a revelation that I had to get from it in order for me to make that decision. But if you don't have that revelation, or you don't feel like, you know, I'll be praying for you. I'm not gonna judge you. There's people that I still rock with to this day that I'm around regularly. They smoke weed, and I used to smoke with them, but I'm around it. It doesn't bother me none. And I don't judge them about it. So. But
them seeing that you, knowing your history, because tell us how old were you when you started smoking marijuana?
My first time smoking, I was 14 years old, and it was on New Year's, and I was with my cousins. My cousins, you know, cousins is always the ones, and my brothers was even younger, because since I started smoking, my brothers caught me smoking. They told me, if I didn't let them smoke with me, they was gonna tell on me.
Just knowing that that's where it stemmed from, that's the history in it. And then you have me coming along where you're in your 20s trying to nag you into quitting a habit that was started at 14 and not asking the right questions. Now, I will say one of the things that caused me to be extremely passionate in it, not just my relationship with Christ, but also because in my family, there was a strong history of addiction. And, you know, me making up in my mind, that will never be me. That will never, you know, be my story. That would never be my husband. Just doing everything that I tried within my own power to say, I don't want to get wrapped up in that spirit of addiction that I've watched take so many people in my family. Mm-hmm. So even you not knowing that background and what was fueling my passion and really wanting you to stop, the fear of saying, okay, will this honestly be the gateway to him trying heavier stuff and becoming addicted to it? Mm-hmm. That was a fear. It scared me. And so where I'm coming across not communicating with you properly, it came across as being judgmental, as nagging you, as, always having something to say. It wasn't communicated properly. And it was merely out of fear of my family being wrapped up into a cycle that I've watched my cousins and siblings, go through. Mm-hmm. And so my vow to never want to get wrapped up into that wasn't your vow.
Right.
And that was something that, I made the decision to do. Right. But I didn't discuss that with you beforehand. Beforehand, you were just doing it casually, and I didn't create those boundaries before we got into this deep relationship. And so I do want to say to single people out there, men and women, it is so important to have these conversations, because where we were courting, got engaged, married, and then boom, we're in a marriage. And just like Justin, it just seems, in his opinion, stuff just flipped when we got married, because we didn't have the proper conversations that we should have had before we got to that point. And because I lacked the wisdom, the knowledge, the guidance to ask the right questions, for us to go through counseling, for these things to be brought out, for my stances on certain aspects of the way that I see my life going, we never discussed those things. So boom, here we are, we're married. And now I'm trying to force something on him. And he's just like, well, where's this energy at when we were dating?
Right.
You do yourself a disservice if you don't create those boundaries before you decide, I am going to commit myself to this person. We're going to become one. We can't become one if we're moving in different directions. And where I and Justin messed up is that we were on two different tracks. We had two different opinions about marijuana use. And even in raising our children, in his family and in mine, people start at very young ages. And I know that even in that, like my father smoked cigarettes. I hated it. I hate the smell of cigarettes. And so the one thing that was on my list is I would never date a man that smoked cigarettes. You had to have perfect teeth. And I would never date anyone that smoked cigarettes. Why did that not bleed over into smoking marijuana?
Because you was willing to compromise for your boy, because you was like, this dude is cute when he smoked weed. That's what you just said. That's why. You were
very young. I was very young and ill-informed. And so single people, you have the opportunity before you get married to do the due diligence and get to know each other. Go into the history of where your partner is, the family history, find out what those generational patterns and things are, because you need to make sure that you both are praying and interceding to break some of that stuff before you join. And sometimes some things you don't need to be joining in marriage about. It's some things y'all just, you don't need to be partnering with each other.
I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say, because I was about to, the moment passed.
Okay. You was getting ready to say something funny, trying to be funny?
No.
He was about to say some nonsense.
No,
I could feel it in my bones.
Yeah, that's why you kept talking. You grabbed my hand like, don't say it.
Y'all see this?
This is a serious moment.
This, when you're married,
she got her signal.
He put his hand over here and I squeezed it. Like, okay, you better. Now, what was you gonna say?
No,
this share it.
No, we good. It ain't sharing. It was just more so because you was wondering why, you didn't set those boundaries, and And I was about to be like, I got the magic stick. You got the magic stick. I can hit once, I can hit twice, I can do bad at it. What?
And this is why you need Jesus.
Bad at it. What?
This is why you need to make sure this person that you're with has a good relationship with the Lord.
Me and Jesus go way back. Hold on. My bad. Listen, I gotta stop the show to give you this good news. The Marriage Journal Revealed book club is finally here. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you go to themarriagejournalrevealed.com and subscribe to our newsletter to get the information about the book club Fortified. You don't want to miss it.
Anyway, if you are in a situation right now, at the time, honestly, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to address it. I was coming at him in all the wrong ways, thinking that I was doing and saying the right thing, thinking that I was going to get him to stop. And I wasn't equipped with it. I didn't have the wisdom to understand that this is something more than you. It's something more than what you're able to do in your own strength.
Right.
So if you are in a situation right now where your partner, your spouse, your best friend, whoever it is in an addiction, seek the help, seek the counseling. There are numbers. We will drop in the comment box some resources in the description, some resources that you're able to seek counseling, that you're able to, get some, go to rehab if it is a very strong situation, a very strong addiction that you're in. We'll provide those resources below for you.
Or if you want to, for those because that's for the person that wants their partner to stop. For those that are in the situation that do smoke weed or that are
or
on drugs.
any drug that
any drug
is a stronghold.
Yeah, that's a stronghold. Holla at me. You know what I mean? I'm open to pray with you. I'm open to have a conversation with you. Open to walk you through it, have your back, support you. I ain't gonna, like I said, no judgment here.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready. You know what I mean? It's completely up to you. It's when you're ready. Like I said, nobody can really force you or make you want to make that change. You just gotta want it for yourself. And it's not an easy process. There was plenty of times where I thought I quit. It wasn't until I had that encounter, boom. It was
That's right, deliverance. Sometimes it just takes some deliverance. Revelation Church LA in Simi Valley, 580 Easy Streets.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we're happy to drop some resources for you. And we hope you enjoyed this episode, Every Drug But Love. We are so thankful to be at a place where Justin was delivered, and we love each other. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can see additional episodes. You'll know when they drop. We'd love to hear from you. So share away.
It's the Marriage Journal Revealed. We out.
We out.